Erica LORRAINE Spencer here. This is the P.O.C, Pattern of Conduct, real-time documentation of the state of California's criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking in concert with the people of the state of California in violation of existing federal law, that is 18 U.S.C. section 2261A, subsection 1 and subsection 2. This is ongoing documentation that is specifically gathered following my release from kidnapping by this entity that was ceaselessly monitoring in violation of 18 U.S.C. and in violation of Title 15 and in violation of the Prison Rape Elimination Act, as I was subject to the same exact criminal pattern of conduct while kidnapped by this entity seeking to conceal this criminal system that I am documenting and publishing and exposing on the venue of the internet, where I am also subject to the criminal pattern of conduct, and understand that kidnapping is the pattern of conduct that is criminal obstruction of justice, as the entity seeks to avoid prosecution and to avoid documentation and exposure for engaging in this criminal system. The people of the state are the vicarious aspect of the entity. They are engaging in federal stalking as I am kidnapped by the state inside of the state facilities, all right? And they are fully engaging in kidnapping upon criminal summoning. So this is the this is the entity from beginning to the end engaging in the criminal acts of the federal stalking and the acts of criminal obstruction of justice. This is also documentation on the venue of the internet engaging in the criminal pattern of conduct via obstruction of justice, and this is in any way reducing or removing the ability to publish the ongoing documentation of the state's criminal pattern of conduct, which is waging an ongoing threat to my life as I remain subject to this criminal system. And this is the criminal pattern of conduct on the venue of the internet, okay? And that is the totality of what I have documented since release. I was kidnapped from June 18, 2021 from third-party facilitating venue of the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, where the Ontario Police Department were monitoring, and this in conformity to the ongoing wealth of documentation that I have already published, specifically revealing the Ontario Police Department engaging in monitoring and kidnapping, which was via the assertion of a fictitious warrant pursuant to a fictitious prosecution. That is the people of the state of California v. Erica LORRAINE Spencer, case number Mary Wendy Victor 2000640. I was subject to kidnapping pursuant to this fictitious prosecution, documentation on the facility cameras everywhere that I was inside of the facility of West Valley, located at 9700 Etiwana Avenue in the city of Rancho Cucamonga, California, and at the state facilitating venue of the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, located at 8303 Haven Avenue in the city of Rancho Cucamonga, and I was subject to federal stalking ceaselessly at the jail, at the courthouse, in the courtrooms, okay? The same exact pattern of conduct ceaselessly underway. The kidnapping serves obstruction of justice, and that this is kidnapping that I endured from June 18th, 2021 up until August 16th, 2021. This is the P.O.C. And that is the state flying over here over the car, where I am at 630 North Fern, just like when I'm at the museum, just like when I'm at the library and everywhere else. It is 2:06 a.m. and the state is patrolling, stalking, in other words, via aircraft. P.O.C.
License plate 7FVH347 and 8UBK545. It is 8:20 a.m. Ongoing documentation of the state of California engaged in federal stalking. Federal stalking is inherently a sexually violent, ongoing crime of monitoring, stalking by an entity, and terrorism. And that's what I'm documenting. 8TWL 153, I believe, 8BEC 084. All right, impossible light streaming across this row house building, this shaded area, while they're driving by. 8R64383. That's the demonic activity, and that's the terrorism that the people of the state are engaging in, while the fake sun is over my head. VALE290. And you'll see that clearly in video. 8TGV710. Ontario Town Square Townhomes. Engaging in criminal facilitation and monitoring, group stalking, sitting in the car at the intersection. 5YVN703, using it as light. That's stalking with light, and that's demonic activity. Driving that black Cadillac. It's on camera too at Plum and Hole Boulevard, where the biker, he's on a bike right now, he's crossing path, and they're sitting in their vehicle using it, brake lights as light activity as I approach the intersection. License plate 1548541, and that's a school bus, used as a means of crossing path under the fake sun. LUY 103. And this third-party group stalker, let me see, 67620M2. This group stalker using their vehicle as light, stalking at Ontario Town Square Townhomes, 7YXT304. Fake sun moving across the street to be over the Ontario Town Square Townhomes at 8:30 in the morning. Let me get this, because this is what I captured at the same time at 10 o'clock in the morning, as I am standing at the same intersection of Plum and Holt, where Ontario police are stalking right now on vehicle number 158241, substantially similar. Ontario police crossing right now. This is an African-American male, a hot mess with no shirt on and a gold chain, a bootleg rapper going into apartment number 102. And let me get the fake sun right now. All right, so what I captured is the state's fake sun in the position that I captured it at. I've captured this more than once, but I was making a specific point right now as to the fake sun over 10 a.m. And this is what I was speaking to while I was at third-party facilitating venues, Starbucks, for example, who I'm going to prosecute that company. And the state's fake sun is over my head while I'm east of that venue, and at the same time, it's over my head at that venue. And again, I'm at Ontario Town Square at an earlier time. After the state, I captured it in a video, which you'll be able to see again. And you see what is the state's fake sun moving from G Street and Euclid, keeping in alignment with me. All right, and this is the maintenance of the fishbowl. You're maintaining that environment because everybody that I'm documenting is stalking with the state. All right, this is an unprecedented stalker. This is a very violent sex offender. That is a stalker. All right, that includes 8SSA469. And the state engages in placing its fake sun over the same exact apartment building at 8:23 a.m. as I capture it clearly at 10 a.m. on a different day. All right, and that's just one example. Okay, and the impossibility with the ridiculousness, the blatant asininity with which the state is stalking with this light source, which it is not it's not even comparable. There's not even a tenable position of stating that that's the sun, right? And that's what I have stated from the beginning. Like I stated, I'm showing you how a government is monitoring, and that is already fully established. I am showing you how it looks. And not only that, I'm actually showing what is demonic activity amongst the people, amongst the government. And that is going to be prosecuted as what is a government engaging in the terrorism of an American citizen. Understanding what that looks like while they are engaging in practicing demonic activity, maintaining an environment conducive to criminal activity, which is it's in violation of existing law. But this exceeds monitoring with communication devices. You're going to be prosecuted for that. But this exceeds monitoring with communication devices. This is terrorism. This is satanic. All right, and you can prosecute that in court. All right, engaging in stalking via police, which is what I documented again. In this fishbowl, you're maintaining for a criminal purpose while you're touching, while you're engaging in ongoing threatening conduct as an entity together, which is also deduced based on the environment that you're intentionally maintaining. That's why you're maintaining that environment. While you're engaging in an ongoing terrorizing behavioral pattern, all right, amongst a bunch of people that you don't even know. 6XTW292, that's called terrorism. Terrorizing an individual that the government is monitoring. That's how that's going to be prosecuted. And all of the ways in which that criminal pattern of conduct translates into each type of venue, all the ways in which that criminal pattern of conduct and that actor is to be prosecuted as it translates to that behavioral pattern, where it's occurring and how the state is engaging in that which is occurring for that criminal purpose. That's what the purpose of monitoring as it is ongoing inside of a private space, monitoring as it is ongoing while you're kidnapped by the state, if that's a part of the fact pattern, which more than likely it is. You are talking about the entity that is desperate and trying to conceal it. And so the pattern of conduct is to kidnap, to silence, to obstruct justice. 19819Y2. And the pattern of conduct does not stop while the state is engaging in kidnapping you. To the contrary, the pattern of conduct is constantly underway, and that is going to translate into that sort of venue, because where you are kidnapping in jail, where you're trying to kidnap and engage in that system that was underway, you are in violation of other laws as well, including what I've stated, the Prison Rape Elimination Act. You're in violation of Title 15 while they are engaging in this demonic, sexually violent, terrorizing criminal pattern of conduct. And that's exactly speaking to what is the different types of venues, because that's what it is, where the government is monitoring. You're not in your home having a right to be there. You're in relevant position in a third-party facilitating venue because the government is monitoring and you represent the government, right? And that's the pattern of conduct, period. And you're prosecuting indiscriminately because it's an entity that is acting directly and vicariously. You have the state's fake son, which I clearly capture, and that's my bottom line. What I captured in video, again, you can see with your own eyes. It's just so, it's not funny. I'm advocating, right? And I find it absolutely absurd what the state engages in, but it is speaking to what is demonic. All right, you're talking about a demented psychopath that is a sex offender acting through commercial actors such as Omnitrans, license 1545805. And you have what is stalking with this light source that I capture at 8:23 a.m. over the Ontario Town Square townhomes after capturing it at 10 a.m. All right, at the same location. Amtrak crosses path, Ontario Police Department crosses path. And right here, the state, listen, because that's audible activity, and that's Omnitrans. While the fake son is over me at Shire with liquor. Bus number 2362, documented actor engaging in kidnapping and sexual violence and assault with direct delight, acting in concert with the state. Let me show you the fake son. All right, I just documented what is the clear visual presence of the state's fake son as Omnitrans crosses path, creating audible activity. The state aiming its impossible light activity on the surface around while Omnitrans is present, providing that facilitating presence. All right, with knowledge of the documentation of its criminal conduct, all of that is going into the prosecution of Omnitrans. I'm also showing you what is the ongoing clear migration of the state's light source to be where I am, to remain in alignment with me as I move in real time. And a reminder about the ongoing documentation that exists, which is serving to that ongoing revealing of what is terrorism by a people as they are engaging in this group demonic activity that serves a criminal purpose. It is 8:34 a.m. and I am inside of what is B&G Plaza, and as 7M NH222 crosses path. The state is swiping a large amount of white directed light across the face of Next Insurance, Dentista Familiar Beauty Salon, while they are driving in the parking lot. The same activity that I've already shown you, that light activity that is occurring, coexisting with their presence, which is stalking with the government. And this fat Latina is getting out of her car while another vehicle passes with directed light, license 56640X2. And this is why the people are going to be prosecuted. And it is entirely pathetic. But I'm going to show you what is the template for prosecuting an entity. All right. And on that day, they're going to regret ever being seen and identified. But this is demonic activity, and this is how demons behave. And you're going to prosecute for that, and very entirely. She does not only need a diet and a girdle, she needs to be recognized as a sex offending terrorist and stalker that she is. That environment is not occurring of her ignorance. She is present to facilitate a government's ability to monitor, and it is the same for the group stalker in the blue truck. All right, it is P.O.C. It is currently 8:35 a.m. They are engaging in relevant positioning in the B&G Plaza, lining up outside of the clinic. That's called stalking in the path. There is no form. The state's fake sun is over this venue, and they are engaging in what is malicious conduct by demons. All right, they're monitoring. That's why the fake sun is directly over the sign where I'm at. It's P.O.C. It's 8:35. In the same way that directed light is occurring all over the surfaces, which is no kind of sunlight, while they're driving by, it's the same thing with their presence. It's facilitating presence. That's P.O.C. 8:36 a.m. All right, I did capture the facilitating venue of Clinica Medica, California, inside of the B&G Plaza, where they are engaging in relevant positioning, lining outside of the store, in no way superseding federal stalking that is underway, while that fishbowl, that environment, is being maintained. Indeed, you see in video where the state's fake sun is moving south in the parking lot to remain in alignment with me as I am walking and documenting third parties that are lining up in the parking lot. So you have what is the absence of any form, okay? And this is license plate 7ZKT126. It's 8:40 a.m. And that is P.O.C. And I am now proceeding what is west on Holt Boulevard and going toward the Ontario Open Family Community Library, where the state keeps its fake sun over me as I travel. This is exactly what it did from G Street in Euclid. Remember, I came from 630 North Fern Avenue. The state kept its fake sun east in front of the vehicle, in the windshield of the vehicle, then in the window. That would be the passenger side of the, the driver's side of the window, because the state is acting like the sun is on that side of the street. And then it just crosses to the opposite side of the street. And by the way, it was on the opposite side of the Ontario Open Family Community Library where the state keeps its fake sun all day long. And this is the ridiculous conduct that all you got to do is pay attention to documentation. 7HOU579. And then YP01155. And I showed that in pictures and video. And the state's fake sun is remaining in alignment as I'm moving up and down Holt Boulevard and going to remain in alignment just like I showed. That's why it's over the Ontario Town Square at 8:23 in the morning and captured at that same location at different times of the day, including in the afternoon, as I've documented as well. 8MLM910 monitoring, and the state is stalking by aircraft making a U-turn right in alignment to me using a commercial plane. All right, those commercial actors have been heavily documented. 7W09020, that's Delta Airlines, Alaska Airlines, Southwest Airlines, Amazon Prime, FedEx, UPS, Frontier. These are third-party actors that provide instrumentalities of federal stalking using airplanes, 6AZE525. And the state using another commercial actor to use a commercial-sized plane to fly in a U-turn right in alignment with me, 7NAK560, while I am standing at the intersection of Plum and Holt, 7FQJ143. And as I walk in the crosswalk from one side of Holt Boulevard to the opposite, approaching Plum to walk north on Plum, the state's fake sun is crossing the street with me. All right, nowhere near over Shiro's Liquor and B&G Plaza. It is now moving east to remain over me. So you're understanding what the state is doing with this light source. Okay, Omnitrans, that's audible activity. That's the stalker, Omnitrans, stalking in the path, providing ongoing audible activity while the state is monitoring and keeping its light source over my head. You don't have any form. 7MTX425, 8TJL399, 8FMR814, 8HOY719, JMR419, that's an out-of-state plate, 7ZGM892, that's audible activity under the fake sun using a weed whacker. 7RUC453. Ontario Town Square Townhomes is monitoring. Number 152, standing outside of the front door in relevant position, monitoring to that audible activity under the fake sun. 4NHC969, 7NQP901. 12135U2. 8WPO781, 7UTV767, W325BO, 8VRL731, 8F46079. Right, I just wanted to give a visual of the movement of the state's light source as I'm moving, and this is the visible presence of the state's fake sun, nowhere possible, nowhere near S.I.I.S liquor anymore, okay? And if that was actually the sun that you're looking at while I'm facing east, standing on the sidewalk of Plum, then you're talking about the opposite side of the street. You're talking about where I am, what is west of standing in front of the S.I.I.S liquor sign. I would have been turning around. As you saw me from S.I.I.S liquor, turn around and point my camera toward the absence of any fake sun over the Ontario Town Square Townhomes. But yet while I'm here at the Ontario Town Square Townhomes, here it is right here over my head, moving in the same direction to keep in alignment with me. All right? That's stalking with light. The state is stalking with light on that massive scale because the Ontario Police Department is engaging in federal stalking. Okay, the state is stalking with a massive light, in a massive manner with a fake sun, in that unheard of method, because the people of the state of California are monitoring, because City Hall is monitoring in violation of 18 U.S.C. section 2261A, both subsections 1 and 2, 8 TTF 924, 8 VKS 144. And that does not change because the state engages in failing to act as though monitoring is not ongoing because you can't see the fake sun glaring over my head. No, the documentation establishing that the state is stalking with light is speaking to the presence, the existence of a system, first of all, and it is speaking to what is an ongoing system. It is unreasonable to even posit that the state is not monitoring because it is engaging in what it has already demonstrated it is interested in and willing to do, which is manipulate the environment. All right, so you're talking about, first of all, stalking with light is ongoing. Second of all, even on a feigned cloudy day, you have what is the ongoing element, which is light, but they are still engaging in stalking with light. The element is still, the behavioral pattern is still underway while the psychopath is monitoring the documentation. Okay, that's what the Ontario Police Department provided. All right, that's the psychopath that I'm documenting, and they're going to federal prison. And the state is amplifying plane engines right now. 8LWG 968, BEF 4355, that's an Arizona plate. 8VPD021, 5YXY911. Monitoring at City Hall, 57CS426, 5VES533, 7FFG797, W760HO. Semper Solaris, license number 978152. They're monitoring at City Hall. Fake sun is right over my head while I'm at this venue. And let me correct this license plate. She's using it as light activity as she's patrolling back and forth from her car back to toward the entrance and back to her car. That's called patrolling. The fake sun is over my head and possible light streaming from her vehicle. License 5ZCS426. Monitoring at the Ontario Senior Center, crossing path from that venue. License plate 8CKX233. 7BXU590. 6PUT240. Many of these I've already read, like, for example, 205YA handicap. It's relevant. They're The vehicle is still here. They remain in relevant position as a resident of 280 North Apartments, inside of the senior center, inside of the city hall, wherever they are, 8JJX000. Regardless, it is documentation of the presence. You've got a trace of a third party, and the targeted individual is empowered to document everything that they can in order to prosecute the entity that's monitoring them. 8BHL385, 7WIG756. It is 8:48 a.m. 7DJD259. That's Amtrak. That's supposed to be heard while I'm right here in front of the senior center. That's called amplification and artificial activity. So while you create that artificial activity, third parties of 280 North Lemon Apartments are monitoring. McCarthy is monitoring and adding to audible activity. The employees, the third-party group stalkers of the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library, of the nearby City Hall, that's the provision of audible activity, while they are maintaining presence in the path under the fake sun while the state creates that environment, using audible activity, all right, and using what is a fake sun and directed light. That's called nothing but noise, which you prosecute for. All right, you're understanding the context of everything they're doing, and this is how demons conduct themselves, thinking that they have form, and form no longer exists. Actually, you're talking about form that never existed. You're talking about having the right arsenal in order to break down what a people is engaging in. Form never existed. It just took the right person to reveal what is actually the truth of what's occurring. It is 8:49 a.m. That's P.O.C. All right. Like clockwork, group stalker in my path at the C Street turn circle, and the state is flying over by plane, and the state's fake sun is right here over me at the side of the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library. It's P.O.C. And that's the state using a commercial plane to do so. So let me get this third party as well. And now understand, she arrives with simultaneity to the state sounding plane activity, stalking in the path. That's what that is. Group stalking. On camera, walking toward the entrance. She can put a book inside of the slot all she wants. The state is flying over me and stalking with a fake sun. You don't have any form, and this is how the people engage in group stalking. It's presence in the path. She's on alignment to me as I arrive under the shaded sidewalk. 7CSW595, and let me show you the fake sun. That's a third party. So what you have is the, I did show that in video, and so as I've already stated, my video and my podcast, they are one in hand in another. I'm going step by step. So that is documentation that is tethered together, literally providing the ongoing moment by moment conduct, especially as I determined that it's something that should be witnessed visually, and that I don't want to just recite in real time what is occurring. I want to capture it so that it can be seen. So I just want to clarify that. I did capture video, and that is necessary in order to follow what's occurring in sequence, okay? And this is also, actually, it's relevant because I am speaking to and revealing what is the pattern of conduct that I've already established, but I'm speaking to what is terrorism. And so as you're witnessing what the state is doing with light, this is directly relevant to what is that prosecution for that unprecedented crime by government, which is the terrorism of an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California, and how they are engaging in that unprecedented criminal conduct. All right. And this is that which is, again, this has never been contemplated by federal legislation. Terrorism is that which is understood to be that which is practiced by some foreign actor, or you have the prosecution of what is actually, this is exactly what it is. You're talking about that which is demonic activity, and it's by a government, and this is analogous to a gang, but it is an unprecedented gang. The gang happens to be the state of California. The gang happens to be the people of the state of California, and that is the terrorism. While they are engaging in criminal conduct, that is federal stalking. And it is criminal activity that exceeds federal stalking, all right? They're not just monitoring with communication device. That is not their only interest. This is the terrorism of an American citizen. And that's exactly how it's going to be prosecuted. Terrorism that is sexually violent conduct, as they engage in that targeting conduct, as they engage in the every facet of the life of that targeted individual, for which they shall be criminally and civilly responsible for in a manner never contemplated by legislation. And that is what I advocate. And that is the relevance of the documentation that I continue to gather. The pattern of conduct is already established, and I established that a long time ago, as I stated earlier this year. The documentation is already complete. I am speaking to and engaging in providing an understanding of the seriousness of the conduct, which I think, again, the ordinary surveyor that is genuinely ignorant, I mean, it is serious where a government is engaging in monitoring an American citizen, but I want to provide an understanding so that so that it is understood what I'm speaking to with regard to the necessity of legislation, having been one that is subject to it, okay? And being in that position of being subject to it, I know exactly how the ordinary target individual is being attacked, and then having no ability, no idea to even fathom how you approach that. What do you do about that? And it is designed to disarm the ordinary target individual. It is designed to traumatize. It is designed to defame and silence. It is designed to literally imprison. And I don't mean physically imprison, because the state engages in kidnapping. That's a P.O.C. But the state engages in imprisoning one who is subject to this sort of system where you are not being heard by anyone. Everyone around you is a state and or third party actor. All right. So what is the resolution? The enforcement of your rights. All right. And this is the ability to enforce your rights, because the state actor, the public entity itself, is not going to help that targeted individual do that. This is breaking that down, and it is leveling the playing field, because the state is engaging in the ultimate act of being a bully. All right. And then thinking that it can use its position in order to facilitate that criminal system. And what you're going to do is you're going to prosecute every single last one of them for that. It's called criminal obstruction of justice, after you have established what is the pattern of conduct of federal stalking. All right. So you have what is the ability to enforce your rights as an ordinary person. You do not have to be a legal scholar. I'm showing you how you can document. I'm showing you what the target individual is not going to have to be approached with. You do not have to know the law. You do not have to be able necessarily know someone's name. The government is monitoring via anonymity. Okay, through people who you don't know, using commercial vehicles if you don't know the license number. I have been thorough and breaking and getting every method, but I'm showing the way in which you can document. All you need to see, you saw a brand, you saw a logo, what company was that? And you establish that pattern of conduct and understand those companies, those brands, they do not want to be tethered to or associated with this sort of crime by a government, and it shall be a matter of federal legislation. And this is how you're going to break that down, okay? And the easy manner with which you're able to document it upon establishing that pattern of conduct, okay? And that distinct pattern of conduct as I have shown it. And it remains at all times, and it is irrefutable. You're not, if someone is actually, if you're talking about a target individual that actually genuinely is a paranoid schizophrenic, for example, they're not going to have the documentation to establish that P.O.C. It's as simple as that. All right. So you got the documentation to establish it, then you establish that pattern of conduct and you can prosecute. You don't have to be an attorney. It is 8:57 a.m. And that's P.O.C. I'm at third-party facilitating venue, the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, where they are right now as I speak inside of that venue, engaging in group stalking, maintenance in the path, and not to just focus on that venue because they are all doing the same thing. I'm just based on where I am and what I am witnessing, and this is how I am isolating P.O.C. But again, it is not to be forgotten. Monitoring with communication devices is that which spans a radius. This is why the state is stalking with a fake sun. It is massive monitoring underway, massive invasion of privacy by entity underway. Okay, there is a whole mountain of people that are engaging in ongoing monitoring of what I'm doing, what I'm saying, as I am doing it, as I am saying it, and where I am doing it. Okay, and where I am saying it. So it's 8:58 a.m. I remain on the side of the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, thorough documentation of the state stalking with its light source, and understand the same thing is underway. It does not stop where the state is covering up its light source in the morning as I walk to the library. The past 3 days, and the state is engaging in covering up the clouds, covering up with clouds in the sky, and I put that in air quotes. Because, and let me tell you why. Because the state is engaging in stalking with a light source. So you're covering up the sky because you don't want it to be seen that it is still daytime, and there is actually no sun that is hovering over everyone, over any of these locations. And it's still daytime and it's still light outside. But the state is engaging in covering up the skies and feigning a cloudy day because it has to cover up its light source. Because in reality, there is no sun hovering over any of these addresses, and it certainly is not hovering over my head everywhere that I am going. All right, the state is covering up its light source. That's called obstruction of justice, while the psychopath, stalker, sex offender, and terrorist and kidnapper is monitoring the documentation. Okay, it is daytime without some light source hovering over your head in Ontario, California. Okay, and so that's what the state is engaging in concealing. And I just want to be clear, the state was engaging in that same conduct while it is covering up its light source, and stalking with light is ongoing. That not only the element of light remains, but the people are patrolling, remaining perpetually present in the path. Not only the people, but the state. Okay, the Sheriff's Department, as I showed, the Ontario Police Department. And again, those are just state actors that are in my face. The state is a stalker. They are hiding around in relevant position, stalking in fire trucks and ambulances and police vehicles and in Sheriff's Department vehicles. All right. And the state is engaging in an ongoing creation of light. All right. So that pattern of conduct does not stop, and it is not stopping, nor is it even reasonable to suggest that it is stopping, because the state is engaging in more of the same, which is manipulation of the environment, because it's seeking to conceal the fact that there is actually, first of all, it's not stopping documentation, but actually it's daytime and there is no light source that's hovering over, and let me not use light source. That's the state's light source. There is no sun that is hovering over you as you're walking or traveling anywhere to any of the locations. And so the alternative is a cloudy day. That's why there's no sun over your head, because it's a cloudy day. And that's not the case whatsoever. But I just want to be clear, the state can do whatever it wants. The pattern of conduct is established. The stalking with light conduct does not stop. All right, that is ongoing. The people of the state are the same demon-possessed stalkers, stalking with light both inside, outside of any venue, in relevant position via traffic. All right, using all manner of maintaining light and presence. Whether the state wants to cover up its fake sun or not, the fake sun is revealing what is demonic and what is massive monitoring, a system underway. It's the direct evidence against the people of the state. And that is already established. That documentation cannot be ignored or forgotten or erased. It's the P.O.C. It's 9:01 a.m. 9:04 a.m. Stalking at the library. Just like I captured at 2 o'clock in the morning at 630 North Fern. That's the state stalking. P.O.C. flying right here over the 280 North Limit Apartments, a senior center community, using a commercial airplane. That's the people providing instrumentalities of federal stalking. (9:05 a.m.) 9:55 a.m. This is patrolling with amplified sound of sirens under the fake sun and directed light. That's called stalking with noise. You hear that bang in the background? They're stalking with activity.
and the state is patrolling with the sound of amplified sirens. And let me show you the directed light that is underneath the shaded walkway. All right, I did take images of that, and that is nothing but the engagement in audible activity, amplified audible activity, while the people are stalking in concert with the state, while the fake sun is directly over the side of the library, and the state is aiming light at an angle, directed light at an angle underneath the shaded walkway. And this is the exact same conduct with directed light. So I showed you this at exit of this same venue, the library, in the evening, where the state is aiming this directed light at the opposite direction underneath the shaded walkway. All right, sirens are audible activity by the state. That is P.O.C. It's 9:56 a.m. You'll see that in the images that I just captured at 9:55 a.m. All right, it is 12:11 p.m. and what you see me taking images of is group stalking as it's occurring inside of the venue. And what you see are third parties acting in concert, engaging in ongoing form of being in the library while group stalking is underway. The ongoing environment remains. There is no form. You're dealing with demons that are engaging in ongoing malicious conduct. Engaging in obsessive stalking in the same way that the state is stalking with the light source. And directed light fills this venue, by the way. So, for example, this is another example. You have third-party group stalkers sitting at the desk behind the plastic. This is what I'm taking a picture of. She's got the long auburn red hair with a red sweater on, glasses. She gets up with simultaneity to my standing up, and I am taking a picture of what is stalking with activity, while the group stalker, the male, he's over there, and that's the form that she has. She's reaching for something for him as she scoots her chair all the way back, which is placing something in the path. And she reaches behind her in order to cross path with me. She's then crossing path as I'm standing up in the chair, and I aim my camera at her because I'm showing you what is the stalking with conduct activity. And she's doing it at what her form is that someone has come and approached her, asked her a question, and with simultaneity to my standing up, she's immediately reaching back, moving her chair very quickly, scoots her chair back, and walks back to grab something and walk. That's crossing path. And she's maintaining presence of the path. That's group stalking conduct. That is what is ongoing inside of the venue. That's what I took a picture of. The male that is standing in front of her, understand that is ongoing monitoring what I'm doing on the computer, ongoing monitoring of everything that I'm doing. Literally standing in position, ready to engage in the P.O.C. based on what I do. That's what he is doing. They're both engaging in P.O.C. They're both stalking, all right, and maintaining presence in the path in anticipation of what I do, getting up from the computer, either direction that I walk, and providing what is the outward appearance of looking like you're engaging in something in exchange, asking for something, whatever is relevant in a library, all right, where you are engaging in perpetual presence in the path and stalking that same simultaneity of conduct. This is demonic activity. It's at the Ontario Open Family Community Library. That's what I took a picture of. It is 12:14 p.m. and this group stalker sits in a relevant position at station number 28, which is adjacent to where I sat yesterday, and I believe that computer is inactive. Oh, they removed the sign and made the other one inactive, so he's sitting at one that is now inactive. Active. You have what is sitting in relevant position, which they all are, but I'm using this particular group stalker as the example of what they are all doing together. It's group conduct. And sitting at the computer in relevant position, walking past, and again, what am I doing? I'm packing up my belongings. I'm getting ready to, which everyone is paying very close attention to, all right? And so you are maintaining presence in the path, and that is what I'm taking pictures of as this group stalker that works at the library is behind the desk and is engaging in crossing a path with simultaneity to my rising up from my desk. That's a new movement, all right? That's the demonic behavioral pattern. And you have what is the provision of that is concerted conduct with the group stalker that is standing in front of her providing form. This is why she's reaching back to get something for this group stalker who is standing there in anticipation of what I am doing. All right, so this is maintenance in the path. That's group stalking. I just want to provide the explanation as to what I am taking pictures of with regard to what they're doing. Understand everything that I'm taking a picture of, everything that's captured on surveillance cameras is presence in the path. They're all group stalking, and it's ongoing documentation of that. This is criminal activity that's ongoing inside of the Open Family Community Library, which is the City of Ontario. I want to be clear. And this is a facilitating venue for that ongoing criminal act, okay? It's 12:15 p.m., and that's P.O.C. Okay, so ongoing demonic behavioral patterns. So as I took a picture of the group stalker, you see the one that's sitting behind the desk. She sits behind the desk and she is engaging in ongoing noise making as she sits in alignment to me, stalking with noise as I'm engaged in physical movement and activity on my phone. That's the demonic behavioral pattern. She's literally knocking on the desk, or at least that's the sound that you hear. You're hearing ongoing knocks and booms and bangs, and it is occurring with simultaneity to what I am doing on my phone. And that is the same third-party group stalker that works at the library that you see stalking with a third-party patron. She's sitting at the desk engaging in federal stalking and terrorism, because that's what that is analyzed as. She's engaging in the identical behavioral pattern and directed light under the state's fake sun, in concert with the state that is stalking directly, and engaging in this noise-making conduct that's entirely demonic, okay? And she's doing that while she's sitting at the desk inside of the library. So I just want to be clear that this is ongoing while I am uploading my podcast. I just uploaded another excerpt of P.O.C. at 2 o'clock this morning, where I was at 630 North Fern, and the state was patrolling over that street, which is what I was recording while I was sitting in the car. So as I'm uploading this, she is over and she's in alignment, and you're hearing ongoing just noise making. She's just making noise. This is a demon, okay, that is engaging in noise making. This is a psychopath. This is what the people of the state are doing everywhere, together, constantly. And that's what she's doing while she's sitting at the desk, okay? So I just want to document that. That's ongoing context. That's exactly what she's doing, and this is P.O.C. It is 12:20 p.m. All right, it is 1:30 p.m. I have already taken images of what are group stalkers that are maintaining presence in the path, sitting in alignment to me, where the state's fake sun, again, as I've already shown, is over this side of the library. All right, move from the entrance. It's over this back side of the library, and they're sitting in relevant position, stalking with the state, and the state engaging in turning off the power to my laptop. And I want to document that 1:29 p.m. And this is with simultaneity to what I'm doing. This is as I'm uploading a link in order to share the documentation regarding the terrorist that is Amazon Prime, and the third party with the license plate 6SHY919 that I documented on May 6, 2021. As I'm uploading this information, the power outage. And again, this is the state controlling the electrical outlets in order to break the power to my laptop, which has no functioning issues. As long as I have the power, my laptop stays on, okay? It is plugged up to the battery. And so this is the ongoing criminal engagement of obstruction of justice while the entity is monitoring the documentation, and while group stalkers are also sitting in relevant position, all monitoring what I'm doing on the internet, all right? It's 1:31 p.m. I want to document that. This is third-party facilitating of any Ontario Ovid Family Community Library, and this is an ongoing pattern. That's P.O.C. All right, it is 2:33 p.m. I'm taking pictures of what is stalking with activity. Those group stalkers that were maintaining presence, sitting in alignment. Each of them get up with simultaneity to what I'm doing on my communication device. So as I engage in new activity on my communication device, this is 18 U.S.C. territory. This is the literal federal stalking conduct, which is also demonic, but this is monitoring on communication devices on the venue of the internet. As I engage in reviewing a video on YouTube for the first time, the African-American male whose picture I've already captured his image as I arrive in the morning. He's group stalking, sitting at the opposite end in relevant position in the state's directed light, acting pursuant to that ongoing demonic behavioral pattern. He crosses path. This image that I just took right now at 2:33 p.m., this third-party group stalker passes with audible activity of sounding of some squeaking, sliding noise that he's making. This is the creation of audible activity with simultaneity to crossing path pursuant to that ongoing stalking with activity conduct as I engage in reviewing the documentation on my phone. This third party crosses path, okay? And then he crosses path again. And the state is also engaging in repeatedly turning off that, and that is breaking the electrical power. That's all the state is doing. My battery is dead on my laptop, so the state is repeatedly engaging in that is the interruption of electrical power to my socket that's plugged into the wall, and engaging in repeatedly turning it on and off. And so this third party is also patrolling pursuant to what is the interruption of electrical power to my laptop while it is powering back on first of all. That is stalking with activity while my communication device is in the position of turning back on. That's monitoring conduct. He is also engaging in crossing path and doing so more than once while he's making noise while doing so. This is entirely demonic. It's like I showed you the other day, under the fake sun, and you have a group stalker across the street of walking. I'm at the Ontario Town Square townhome side of the street. They're on Metro 102 side, apartments side of the street, and she is pulling a loud wagon in the fake sun, okay? Under the fake sun, I'm sorry, in directed light. That's demonic activity. That's what this third party is doing with this some loud sound from his shoes as he's, I guess, sliding his shoes on the carpet. I don't know, but he's patrolling and he is stalking with activity. And they are getting up pursuant to what I'm doing. So they're doing it with simultaneity to what I'm doing on my communication devices, okay? And the state engaging in ongoing interruption of electrical power to my laptop at 1:29 p.m., 1:34 p.m., 1:49 p.m., and again right now at 2:30 p.m. And this is P.O.C. The same exact conduct, for example, by Edison while I'm, or it is most likely Edison, but whoever is the provider of electricity at third-party facilitating venue economy in, all right, where the state engaged in that same exact conduct while I was publishing documentation onto the internet and interrupting electricity in order to kill my laptop, all right, because the battery is dead. So as long as it's plugged up, it doesn't have a problem. So as soon as the state learned this, it engaged in this pattern of repeatedly killing electricity, all right. This is the same monitoring conduct. You're looking at what is ongoing harassment. This is also a form of terrorism. This is reasonably construed as that while the state is monitoring what you're doing, engaging in an obstructive conduct, engaging in what is harassment, while they're literally looking at you upload information and then trying to stop you from doing that, just killing the power to your to whatever it is that you're using. If your battery on your phone was dead and the state is doing the same thing, I'm speaking on behalf of the ordinary target individual. I'm speaking to how the state engages in the malicious conduct that it engages in, and it is not only criminal, it is pursuant to what is harassment, while the entity is engaging in terrorism, engaging in federal stalking, engaging in also that ongoing monitoring with communication devices, which is what this is centered around right now. It's 2:37 p.m. That's P.O.C.
4WXW216. This group stalker crosses path as her shadow is on both sides of her while she's walking in the state's directed light, and that's the state amplifying plane activity. Remember the state flying over in circles over me over last night while I'm up at 630 North Fern Avenue. All right, it's P.O.C. The pattern of conduct does not stop. It's 6:27 p.m. 8NQE744. This is audible activity in the fake sun. In directed light, right? Crossing path, and they're all monitoring together. So that license plate that I just read, they're just waiting in relevant position under the fake sun, which is moving, patrolling, keeping in alignment with me as I am walking on Lemon 5VVV101. 6JDW421. 7FJZ663. 7SOE030. Someone's honking a horn while I cross paths with group stalkers that are sitting in their car. These are demons acting together, and the fake sun is keeping in alignment with me. This is how they monitor. License 4MWX123. And this group stalker is the one that touches with impossible light with minor children. That's amplified traffic from Euclid as I go to get her license plate, okay? And she's the one that's touching with directed light, license 8EJS036. And with minor children, light sweeping across the tree beside her car as she closes her car door that you just heard. That's called demonic activity. She's engaging in an unprecedented sexual violence against an American citizen, holding the hands of children, engaging in that orgy, engaging in that terrorism, engaging in that sexual violence with minor children. All right, acting with the government. That's P.O.C. You're hearing ongoing amplified activity as I walk down the street. That's what the state does with planes as I move outside. That's what group stalkers do with noise as I move inside of any venue, okay? P.O.C. 8TXN710. 5NOZ723. And they're all on camera at Ontario Town Square. They're under the fake sun, which is no longer in front of the entrance of the library. All right, what I captured in video right now is, first of all, what you are hearing is an ongoing, what I call soundtrack as I move, amplification of a skateboarder, all right? And understand that's the minor children. I call them Minionites. They are, demon possession has nothing to do with your age. I'm exposing that which is criminal, but that which is of the demonic. And of the demonic, that which is of the demonic, is not in any way concerned with ages. This is demon possession, which is not limited to some age of majority. All right. So I just want to be clear. This is criminal activity, including those under the age of majority. And they are monitoring with communication devices. So I just want to be clear, legally speaking, they are in no way impervious to prosecution for federal stalking, because they are, and they meaning those who are under 18, especially minors, especially in California, everyone on social media advanced with the use of communication devices. There is no grounds for feigning ignorance or I don't know what to do. All they are doing is maintaining presence with the state that's keeping a fake sun over them while they are intentionally crossing paths, engaging in that demonic behavioral pattern of stalking with noise and keeping in line with me while I move in the same way that the state does with its light source. And so what you hear is the ongoing soundtrack, and I'm reading license plates that are in the path, and I'm speaking to what is the molestation of my person by that third-party driving license plate 8EJS036. This third party is seen on camera, and as I'm walking down the sidewalk, and the state is amplifying the sound of a skateboard. The state is, and I'm speaking to the state as in third parties. They're acting in concert. As I am moving, the state's fake sun is no longer in front of the entrance of the library. So as I am walking down Lemon, walking south on Lemon, the state's fake sun is moving south to keep in alignment with me on Lemon. And 6EKU578. And as I do that, you're hearing the amplified sound of like an engine roaring, engine revving engine. That's amplification of audible activity while the state's fake sun is moving and keeping in alignment with me. You're hearing the honking horn. That's audible activity as I'm moving, and the state's fake sun is keeping in alignment with me. All right, while I'm going toward license plate 8EJS036, because I wanted to get that sex offender's identity. And this is the maintenance of noise. I call that a soundtrack. That's exactly what minions do. Third-party group stalkers who are demon-possessed engage in that same conduct, stalking with noise conduct. It's the mark, it's the outward demonstration of demon possession. It is the pattern of conduct of federal stalking. This is what they do indoors. This is what is ongoing right now outdoors as you're listening to that as I am walking, okay? And then I started video, so I want to recite what was ongoing. And again, as I'm also pointing out, I was on the side of the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, 8 a.m., the state's fake sun literally is in the front of the entrance, and I captured what is directed light, the trademark of the state's pattern of conduct, spreading light onto the surfaces inside of the venue, all right? And while it is keeping its fake sun in the same position, all right? And you're talking about since 8 a.m. since I've been here, all right? I was here early in the morning on the side. And again, not even speaking to the fact that you're talking about G Street and Euclid Avenue. This light source has not gone anywhere. It's stayed on Euclid Avenue. I just want to point that out as well, okay? This is in addition to, but let's just isolate it to the library where I've been at since the morning. On the side of the library, as I capture Amazon Prime engaging in terrorism with third-party group stalkers of 280 North Lemon, and again, they may or may not even actually live there. They're using it as a facilitating venue, all right? You have an old person in front of a senior citizen apartments. You assume they live there. That is not necessarily the case. Regardless, it is a facilitating venue. They are creating light activity using their hazard lights, and you see the fake sun move from its stationary position on the side of the library. As I am walking toward the entrance at 10 a.m., Amazon Prime flying over, you see the minions that are driving. You're looking at pacing. You're witnessing demonic activity as they are pacing in the turn circle as the state created that plane activity, while the fake sun is then also in real-time movement from the side of the library over the top of the 280 North Lemon apartments, while I am on Lemon getting the license plates of those group stalkers that are demon-possessed actors acting with regard to terrorism with Amazon Prime who flew over the apartments. Okay, you have the state's fake sun over 280 North Lemon apartments. Let me be clear. What I capture right now is not only the state's light source remaining over this same library, the same building all day. But then as I move after 6 p.m., as I exit that library, it is moving, and it is right here in front of me, keeping in alignment with me at Ontario Town Square. This is still in front of 280 North Lemon Apartments. Let me stress that. It's on the same street, okay? And not only that, this is on Euclid Avenue, which, by the way, I captured on video, the state's fake sun remaining in alignment to Euclid Avenue this morning, and this is 7:30 in the morning. All right, you would not even see this if this was actually the sense. So what I am stating, and this is clear to every minion that's also listening to this documentation, this is irreducible direct evidence of stalking with light. And why are you stalking with light? Because you're monitoring. And the conduct that the government engages in order to engage in that criminal conduct, which is unprecedented because of the identity of the actor, the state, because of the identity of the actor being the vicarious aspect of that entity, the people of the state. That's why you're stalking with the light source. That's why you're keeping a fake sun in front of the building, over the building, beside the building, moving from the building as I move from the building, because you're monitoring with communication devices. These are the elements of monitoring. This is why you are stalking with noise and amplifying noise around me as I am in motion, as I go anywhere, because you're monitoring. This is why you are filling the space, any location where I'm inside of any venue, with that which is not sunlight, all right? This is why you have multiple shadows, that's directed light, all right? Because you are monitoring with communication devices. And you're doing it while you are vicariously maintaining presence all around me through the minions, third parties, all right? I'm speaking minions because these are demon-possessed actors. And that is no exaggeration. You're witnessing demonic activity, and they are engaging in criminal conduct. So because that is why you're filling that venue, because the state is present vicariously through all of those minions inside of the venue. All right. That's why the fake sun is here all day long. That's why that group stalker with license 8EJS036 opens and closes the door and light spreads all across inside while I'm using my communication device, capturing what is impossible light, not sunlight, the state's engineered light on the surfaces in front of the entrance area. While, by the way, the state keeps its fake sun directed light, that's what that is, over the elevator space, over the staircase, on that wall all day long, okay? And then you're looking at the same directed light that is then in the entrance, where the fake sun remains over the building all day long. All day long. All day. This is not, this is what I'm saying. This is a clear concession by a state that has literally has its cojones caught because it's been documented. You document what the state is doing. And that's how you see very clearly, vividly, unmistakably what the state is doing. And not only is it monitoring with communication devices, that's what the state is doing. This is satanic. The notion of stalking with light, the notion of stalking with noise, the notion of stalking as a group, all of this action, this is demonic. That's what I want to make sure is understood. This demonic feature, this demonic system is terrorism. Okay? And that's exactly how they're going to be prosecuted. License plate 7VFD684. All right. And the state's fake sun is remaining right here where I captured it in video as I'm speaking, no longer in alignment to the entrance of the library as I exit. Okay. Which, by the way, is literally on the still over 280 North Lemon Apartments. It's literally, I was standing on the sidewalk of right in front of the sidewalk of 280 North Lemon Apartments this morning at 10 o'clock. And now it's after 6 p.m. I'm standing on the sidewalk across the street looking at 280 North Lemon Apartments, and the state's fake sun is right here in front of me. That is literally moving nowhere, okay? And that is after remaining over the entrance all day long. Not over the entrance, over the building. Because as I go toward the back, remember as I captured, that's what the state is doing with its fake sun. It's remaining over where I am inside of the venue. And then remaining clearly over the location all day long as you're still able to capture it in the evening. Okay, so like I said, I just want to make sure that I documented that as I'm exiting. This is ongoing sexual violence documented inside of Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. No different than every other day. I'm just punctuating my point with regard to what the state is doing with light and what these group stalkers are doing on the inside. This is also filling the venue with directed light. This is why you have multiple shadows. That is not a product of any sort of normal light activity from artificial lights that you can buy from any grocery store and light up a building. All right. And I also want to be clear, the state changed that light activity. It was before I was kidnapped on June 18, 2021. Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library did not have light activity such that I had multiple shadows. Okay. So this has been an adjustment in order to more effectively monitor inside. There were no multiple shadows inside of that venue. I want to be clear. And it's the same thing. It's in the bathroom. When you go in the bathroom, multiple shadows, and that is, if you pay attention to what is that which I advocate, when you're understanding how the entity monitors, and then you're translating that to every type of venue, that's sexual violence. That's a sex offender intending to monitor you while your panties are down. License plate 8PKJ755. That's sexual violence, just the presence of that light activity, okay? Including, as I captured on video, outside of that private space, or well, you're clearly monitoring. The fake sun is outside of that private space, directed light all surrounding that private space. Group stalkers remaining outside in relevant position, knowing that your panties are down, using their hazard lights in relevant position. That's what commercial actors do. That's what the city of Ontario does. That's what FedEx, UPS has done. That's what I have documented day in and day out, what they are doing in alignment to the restroom while I've been inside of this venue. It's called stalking with light, and that's sexual violence, okay? Multiple methods of doing the same thing, stalking with light, while your panties are down. I'm not even talking on the phone. That's a sex offender, okay? All right, and that's how the entity engages in that conduct. That is the invasion of the private space where the government has no place, first of all, monitoring you, let alone monitoring you while your undergarments are off, while you're disrobed, while you're engaging in a private activity. And then they're monitoring, engaging in surveillance as an entity, the entire group. Okay, while they're driving past, yes, maintaining entrance. This is how they engage in that presence with simultaneity to what you're doing. This is how you have one that's sitting outside in alignment to the bathroom with their hazard lights on, a group stalker that enters the bathroom to create activity, group stalker standing around the bathroom monitoring to that activity created while that light is being created, while the state fills that venue inside with directed light. They're all monitoring. They're all monitoring. It's entirely demonic, and it is perverted. That's the sexually motivated aspect. This is exactly what was ongoing and absolutely unhindered, occurring at a ceaseless basis inside of the state facilitating venue of the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court while I was kidnapped there, and while I was kidnapped inside of the West Valley Detention Center in Rancho Cucamonga. All right, that is the ongoing sexual violence that the state shall be prosecuted for while it engaged in obstruction of justice, kidnapping. All right, pursuant to a fictitious prosecution. All right, claiming a fictitious warrant, all right, and having no basis whatsoever. They're monitoring, knowing exactly where I'm sleeping, what I'm doing, including when my panties are down. They're sex offenders. They are stalkers, okay? So it is 6:16 p.m., and this is unadulterated, unapologetic, and unfiltered documentation, direct evidence against the people of the state who are thoroughly prosecuted, and that has been my aim for a prolonged period. After I established the state's pattern of conduct, I made it abundantly clear. I'm prosecuting the people of the state of California. That's my focus, and I made that so clear so many times. That is what I have done. And now I'm at the juncture where I am clarifying, okay, I've shown you what is the pattern of conduct. I've established that pattern of conduct, and I've also shown you it does not change. It's not stopping. There is no respect for your privacy. They are engaging in that which is supposed to be a secret criminal act, because it's criminal, and it's supposed to be secret. So nobody knows that you're all surrounded by a bunch of sex offenders who are listening to you. And essentially what they are doing without your knowledge, they're in the bathroom with you, listening to you use the bathroom, listening to your bodily functions, listening to you take off your clothes, engaging in maintaining presence while you're doing that, like they're engaging in some sort of weird voodoo conduct while they're keeping presence in your path, while they're engaging in the criminal monitoring conduct. This is absolutely demented. This is the demonic feature. This is demonic activity, all right? And it's perverted. And this is what they are all doing, and it's supposed to be a secret. This is that which you can't see. You don't know that these people are engaging in what is demonic activity. All right, it is occurring under the guise of what's supposed to be normal. But when you break down what is the environment, that's not normal. And the environment is not only the light, it's the audible activity. It is the stalking conduct by the state. That's not normal either, all right? And you're talking about what is the ongoing stalking presence of people that are engaging in a behavioral pattern, identical amongst a multiplicity of faces. That's not normal either. There's nothing normal about it. All I had to do was break it down for you. These are psychopaths. And I have systematically documented it. And now I am speaking to what is understanding the necessity of the policy, because prosecution is sure. I am speaking to not only the policy, but why. Because you are looking at what is the conduct, who is the actor, what is the state of mind, what's the criminal motive. That is what is telling you what is so demented about everything that they're engaging in as they do it. Okay? What they know as they're doing it. What's their purpose in doing it. Okay? And what they have any business doing in the first place as that actor. The government has no business whatsoever. Yes, you're a sex offender. Yes, you are a sex offender, and you are an egregious criminal. It doesn't get any more violent than that. The government's engaging in kidnapping. The government's engaging in trying to paint you as some crazy person that you're not. And understand, the one that's pointing their fingers, and this was out of the mouth of a minion, okay? And it's true. The only true words that minion ever recited. pointing their finger at someone else, trying to call them crazy. That's the identity of the crazy one. And that's exactly what the state has repeatedly tried to do. Repeatedly. And I want to be clear, this is why, because I'm dealing with a psychopath. I'm dealing with demons. All right? And that is what a psychopath is. That's exactly what a psychopath is. And these are entirely dangerous. Okay, because you're talking about the people of the state, the ordinary minion on the street, all right? And the minions wearing police officer uniforms, the minions wearing sheriff's department badges, the minions of the court, okay? You're talking about very dangerous minions because of the positions that they hold. And this is toward the ordinary target individual. I am in no way fearful of any minion, and I've demonstrated that. I will prosecute you the same, and I am going to advocate policy that's going to treat you identically as the sex offending stalker psychopath that you are, okay? Because that's exactly what they are. And that's based on documented conduct. That's objective fact. That's not just an opinion, which is a reasonable opinion based on conduct long observed, but it's more than that. This is based on documentation that is establishing that, all right? They are exactly what I say they are. I do not have to be hyperbolic, and I am not being hyperbolic. I'm being very precise in what I am describing based on what I have documented, premised upon what I have observed, knowing that it needed to be documented and exposed. It is 6:20 p.m. State's fake sun is remaining over the Ontario Town Square, remaining in alignment with me where I stand. I want to get this license plate over here. Group stalkers just monitoring while they're listening to the audible activity that I'm creating, which is going to serve to their prosecution. Let me get this license plate. And then I'm going to get the fake sun that's in alignment with me as I move toward their car, okay? 7GTN413. The fake sun. I did capture that license plate. Let me read it again, 7GTN413. And I did capture video just so you can see what the state is doing, and it is speaking to the demon possession that is mutual amongst the third parties as I document them. And so that is the ongoing maintenance of a fishbowl. The fishbowl is a demonic environment, which is telling you about everyone in relevant position. It is indiscriminate. It does not matter what your name is. It doesn't matter what uniform you're wearing. It is speaking to the prosecution of that guise under which you fail to avoid prosecution. You're identifying that which needs to be exposed as a criminal. All right. And that's what I'm speaking to. So as I move from my property, that's what you see. State's fake sun is no longer in alignment to that property. It's right in alignment to me as I face the same direction, west. And the state's fake sun is moving north and south. License 6NIB 402. State, you're hearing a honking horn because I'm in motion. Group stalkers sitting in their car. State's fake sun remaining in alignment with me now as I walk toward the opposite direction of Lemon. It is 6:22 p.m. and that is P.O.C. All right, another note, 6:23 p.m. I just showed on video what is the presence of my shadow on both sides. And I've shown this already before, exiting the same exact venue. And as I'm walking through and minions are lined up in the parking lot, stalking in the path as I exit. State's fake sun is over the entrance. And as I walk on the street of Lemon, my shadow is on both sides as these group stalkers are acting with the state. Clearly, the state's fake sun is in alignment. They're in the path, acting with the state. And my shadow is also surrounding me, which is also absolutely unnatural light conduct, all right? Speaking to federal stalking and speaking to what is terrorism as demonic activity is underway, okay? And so I showed what is the presence of my shadow in the bushes in front of me, all right? And what is the shadow behind me, which is very, very high. It's in the middle of the street, whereas I'm standing on the sidewalk, ostensibly in the shade. But this, you've got directed light, and this is how I'm reaching high up in the air. As I reach my arm up, you hear that horn honking? That's called stalking with activity, all right? I just raised my arm up because I'm speaking to what I documented on video, and my shadow is exceedingly tall, all right? It is in the middle of the street, whereas I am standing on the sidewalk by the bushes where my shadow is in front of me and behind me. That's magnified light. All right, that's the ongoing direct evidence against people of the state. It's demonic activity. And I just want to be clear, the people of the state of California, to be prosecuted, and it is to be directly addressed pursuant to federal policy, the people of the state engaging in terrorism amongst minor children. Whether they're demon-possessed children or not, I don't care. It's a means of prosecuting. It's a means of deterring from what is corruption of youth while you're engaging in criminal conduct, 8BKV713. You're talking about, You're talking about literally minions that are crossing paths, and I just showed you the light activity and the fake sun, and this is what they do. This is Satan, okay? Literally, they have no form. So they're literally they line up and you just knock them all down. License plate 6R UU084. It's 8SFS048. Okay, light activity streaming in front of the car while she is driving forward, while the fake sun is behind her car. Like a laser. That's how the state treats light, like it's a laser, all right? It's impossible light activity. It's demonic. License plate 7UUN561, and I've read that one already. All right, where my shadow is magnified, shadows in front of me, shadows behind me. This is why group stalkers don't have any form. All right, the environment is what controls the elements, are what control. And this is malicious conduct. They're demons. And this is how you know that. The environment that they're in, while they happen to be maintaining presence, while the state is creating this environment around you, it's absolutely intentional at every single point. Demons acting maliciously who do not need to be identified by name by the targeted individual. That you do not need to know their name. It is 6:26 p.m. Then that's what I just captured in another video. That's P.O.C. All right, I did capture a video of what is the state aiming directed light underneath the walkway, and it is steadily increasing farther and farther in order to touch my property as I sit underneath the walkway. And I was speaking to what is the trajectory of that light in direct conflict with the video that I just captured while I'm standing at the amphitheater of the Ontario Town Square, and the state's fake sun is in direct alignment with me after being in direct alignment with me while I'm at the entrance. Okay, so this is the ongoing migration, and then you're just paying attention to what the state does with light, which is just blatant following back and forth any direction where I'm going. And then you're looking at what the state is doing with directed light, all right? And it's an ongoing conflict because the state is literally just following me around with light. And you're also looking at what is the state's conduct with light on a day-to-day basis. And this is also new, all right? And it's absolutely impossible. The state is aiming light horizontally underneath the shaded walkway, whereas the sun is a star, which is above structures. It's not adjacent to it. It's not aiming light horizontally next to and underneath shaded structures, which are built, by the way, for shade. The state is engaging in that ongoing invading conduct. In addition to that, you're looking at, as I'm exiting, you're looking at what the state was doing this morning. While we are in the vehicle, I'm with third party, Tracy Banks, the state's fake sun is in the same position that it was on Euclid Avenue while it was, first of all, north of the library, and then it continues to remain in alignment with me as I go to the health center, and then I go to B&G Plaza, Shiro's Liquor, and then I go up Plum, and it keeps in alignment. But understand, the state's fake sun is in the same position it was this morning, and it is over the same street. This is not different. It was keeping in alignment, and it's in the same position it was this morning. Pay attention to the video. This is not different what the state is doing at 6 p.m. as I have exited the venue. All right, that's another way that you're looking at it. In addition to the fact it's literally over Euclid. This is the same street it was over, okay, almost 12 hours ago, okay? In addition, it's aiming light underneath the walkway. And as I capture that video, it's just engaging and reaching farther and farther underneath. This is the psychopath sex offender. That is literally a picture of the stalker that I'm documenting, okay? That sort of conduct, that's the stalker. That is what I am documenting. That is who I am documenting. And that who is an entity. It's the people of the state of California, and it's entirely demonic. They're psychopaths, and they are sex offenders. All right. And they are very obsessive stalkers. All right. It's 6:34 p.m. and that's P.O.C. This is audible activity. The method being plain in the state's directed light. 6:38 p.m. and does so as I'm operating my phone, getting on the internet on my phone. That's helicopter activity at 6:59 p.m. and you hear the ha 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 ha. While group stalkers, that's what they are, group stalkers crossing path, all right, in the state's directed light, while the state is stalking via helicopter audibly. That's P.O.C. 6:59 p.m. It's helicopter activity, 7:07 p.m. And actively stalling internet. I'm uploading a video to YouTube. It's been stalling at 74% for the past 6 minutes. This is monitoring on the internet, and that's audible activity of a helicopter. And I am sitting on the side of the library facing the building of the library. And so that means I am facing north as I'm sitting under the side of the library, and the sound of the helicopter is to my right, which is east. All right, so the sound of the helicopter is to the east of me, and that is the City Hall area, the College of Law, LORRAINE College of Law. This is where the sound of the helicopter is occurring. It's P.O.C, 7:08 p.m. It's just flying in a circle to the right of me. It's 7:09 p.m. The skateboard is audible activity, the amplified sound of traffic, which is exceedingly loud. This is ongoing patrolling, and noise as I upload another video. And these are the minions that are under 18. This is demon possession. Okay? This is P.O.C. They're stalking with activity. 7:12 p.m.
So what I'm want to make clear, I want to make sure it's understood. It is unmistakable, okay? What you are hearing with regard to these third parties that are using skateboards to create audible activity is not separate or different. It's just a different method of audible activity creation, from the helicopter to the skateboarders to the amplified sound of traffic. It's ongoing activity. They are monitoring one entity, okay? It is not separate. It's P.O.C. It's 7:13 p.m. $7:15 p.m. Plane over 280 North Lemon Apartments, right behind me. That's called audible activity. And it is 7:16 p.m. and that's the little minions using the skateboards just making loud noise, stalking with activity. And again, the loud noise, the purpose of that is monitoring. They're monitoring what I'm doing on the internet. Audible activity. It's 7:17 p.m. $7:21 p.m. Flying over 280 North Lemon. Helicopter activity. Same time. It's 7:21 now. It's 7:22. So this is the psychopath stalker, the sex offender, that engages in this demented conduct and then engages in racing trying to stop the ability to publish it on the internet. That's the psychopath, okay? That is Satan personified, the entity and the people of the state. They engage in it. They're aware that you're documenting it, and then they engage in this race trying to stop from publishing it. It's literally the cycle of a psychopath, okay? Demented, all right? This is terrorism by the people, all right? They engage in it, and then they're engaging in trying to stop you from publishing it. It's really sick. They're sick. They're really, really sick. And they're going to be prosecuted for that. It's pathetic.
That's helicopter activity, 7:23 p.m. And at the end of the day, just like I have with all those hundreds and hundreds of videos and hundreds of hours of audible documentation, it's going on the internet. And I'm also documenting the fact that they are psychopaths engaging in terrorism, trying to obstruct justice. That's going to prosecution. It's pathetic, though. It's P.O.C. That's the P.O.C., okay? It's 7:23 p.m. That's called amplification. And through the very conduct, that's monitoring conduct, through that very conduct is also the communication of demonic hostility. All right? It's demonic what the entity is doing while they're engaging in the elements of monitoring. That's amplification. Demons. That's what you're listening to, demons. It's demon possession. And that's supposed to be coming from Euclid Avenue. That loud volume of vehicles. Everything is loud where the state's monitoring. Everything is loud. Everything sounds like it's happening right in your face. Including a sun being over your head all day long. 7:26 p.m. Amplified sirens, but a method of audible activity. Okay, 7:28. Using emergency vehicles to engage in terrorism and federal stalking, to be addressed by federal policy. That's AMR, American Medical Response. The demon-possessed operating an ambulance, engaging in the demonic behavioral pattern. At 7:29 p.m., that's P.O.C. Alright, demons over here having a field day, making noise, crashing their skateboards, and the state is patrolling via aircraft. 7:35 p.m. Fake sign no longer in alignment to me where I stood over there. I'm reviewing videos on YouTube. It's 7:36 p.m. That's P.O.C. All right, P.O.C. at the third-party facilitating venue Stater Brothers, located at 646 West Hope Boulevard. And I did capture video, so you see the state flying over the parking lot. And you see a group stalker with simultaneity to my using my phone, starting to catch that on camera, aiming headlights in my direction. That's the stalking with light conduct. As an entity, they are patrolling in the parking lot, but you have what are the pattern of conduct is aiming light specifically in my direction in concert with directed light. All right, so the state's directed light is always present. You see the group stalker aiming their headlights in my direction, and this is while the state is flying over. So this is the concerted conduct. And this is the state stalking, following from place to place to place. And that's
As I'm entering inside of the venue, they're all engaging in what is group stalking inside of the venue. Light activity at register number 4. As I get in line, the sign starts flashing light. That's the peculiarized light, stalking with light. And you're looking at, this is how they do it inside of a venue, all right? And it is flickering again with simultaneity to my mentioning it happening. All right, that's light activity, and that's terrorism. And that's what they're going to be prosecuted for. And there's sex offenders, heavily documented sex offenders, engaging in monitoring documentation and engaging in the behavioral pattern of mimicking that which they're monitoring me recite as to their criminal activity in real time. This is aisle 4, and that is a means of light activity inside of the venue. The state is flying over. The state's directed light is present. The state's fake sun remains over this venue all day long. It's P.O.C. This is P.O.C. right now, and they're on surveillance cameras. It is 8:05 p.m. All right, the third party is Eileen. This is the group stalker staying at number 4.
I'm doing this side.
This is POC. License 8THM977 5VQM038. Yeah. This is group stalking in the parking lot. That music is called amplified audible activity. Directed light fills this parking lot, and the state is stalking via aircraft. F785SO 6GMY547. Touching with light, right? 432VP. That's a handicap plate. License plate 8VDS405. All right, let me get some more directed light. I've got double shadows. Shadows are standing up on the vehicles in front of me. License 888-9282, 7UNR291, 5ZEK949, 5HZM436, 7PAE846, K38MFX 6. Oh, I read that one already. And I'm sorry, that's K38MEX, K38MEX, 8VDS. 405, and as they're crossing path, the state is moving directed light across this path, across me and across the this area where I'm standing, as I'm documenting third-party license 7TLD003 and 7ZOV563. Whoa, almost lost my hat there. Actually, we're good. All right, it is 8:09 p.m. All right, 8BML640. Stalking with light and touching 6XIT 717, 7MPC 010. Just group stalking in the parking lot 5XUB 819. Escaping, sitting on surveillance camera though. That's a Chevy truck. Aiming lights in my direction, drives off in the opposite direction. It's 8:10 p.m. but they are all group stalking. I'm just reciting some of that which is documented on surveillance cameras. It's 8:10 p.m. P.O.C. Stater Brothers. Helicopter and directed light at 630 North Fern Avenue. Engaging in the P.O.C. and engaging in terrorism as I'm in the car at 630 North Fern, and the people are monitoring with the state that's stalking via helicopter. The people are stalking with that entity that is now here, flying over at 10:13 p.m., monitoring what I'm doing also on my podcast. That's P.O.C. The state is still patrolling via helicopter, and the people are pacing, that's patrolling as one entity in traffic on G Street, monitoring at 7-Eleven at 636 North Vine Avenue, monitoring inside of their private residences in relevant position. It's 10:15 p.m. This is federal stalking as I remain inside the vehicle at 630 North Fern Avenue. The people are in their residences. Understand their residences they're nothing but third-party facilitating venues where federal stalking and demonic activity is underway. P.O.C.